Hey everybody, welcome to the Exciter Show. I am Chris. Got Paul with me, and Joe is sleepy, right? Is that the impression I got?
It sounded like he wasn't feeling well, and hopefully he's resting up and getting back in the swing.
Yeah, I mean we have families and we do this late at night, which is good. I think we shouldn't do this at 5 p.m., but sometimes when we do it late at night, we either fall asleep or if we're ill or just tired, it gets tough. But we miss him, and we should have him back next week. But Paul, I got a couple really fascinating things I wanted to talk to you about. I love the zoo, Paul. You're a zoo guy, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, there's a big controversy in the China Zoo. You were talking about the Cleveland Zoo so great. Well, be glad you're not in China because there's videos in China about a zoo that's being accused of trying to deceive visitors with a pair of dogs dyed black and white to look like panda bears. I don't know if you've seen the picture. The picture looks a little suspicious
I,
there.
I I saw some video clips of the panda dogs, and I question the zookeepers and what they thought about dogs would fool people that they were pandas. I mean, you could spray paint a mouse black and white; it doesn't make it resemble a panda.
Well, here's what zoo officials said. I mean, Paul, you're believing in the media, but the zoo officials say they are they were chow chows, which is a fluffy dog breed originally from northern China, and they were painted black and white to resemble giant pandas. They were clearly advertised as panda dogs. See? I mean, they're trying to make a joke a little bit. Come on. Um, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
because
kind of
when you think of comedy and jokes, you think of the zoo.
right now. There are some people saying, "Hey, this is not good for the dogs to dye them. They could be susceptible to skin diseases. So, yeah, don't dye your animals, or it could get bad." Um, I don't know. Are you kind of judging all zoos now? I mean, are any of the animals what we think they are? Are they all like? Are all of our
I
animals more dog-like?
that that seems like we're missing another option in there. I think we went from 0 to 100 awfully fast. I think there's suspicions of trying to pass off dogs as pandas, but I don't now raise an eyebrow to all zoos. If I go to a zoo and I see um, a basset hound in the bear exhibit and they say, "Look at the bear," I'm gonna be I'm gonna call the bluff on that. But my faith, I think zoos have been good enough for long enough that they warrant trust.
Be robotic. I mean, like if you go see the elephant, maybe the elephant is a robot inside. You put elephant skin around it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trusting anything now, Paul. This is scary. I mean, come on.
Do you know? I think it would be cheaper just to go get an elephant from Africa than to build a robotic
Robotic.
duplicate.
And what do you yell the elephant skin to put around it? You know what I mean? That would be really expensive. Or I don't know. I mean, like a robotic alligator or something. I don't know.
The Cleveland Zoo has one of those, and it's clearly robotic, and
Uh
they don't pretend that it's anything other than robotic,
oh. Maybe that's
or at
the
least
one
they
that.
used to. I don't know if it's. I haven't been there in a few years.
Well, now they've cloned that, so all the animals are robotic. I don't know. This is
Now,
rough.
if anyone ever, if you're going to say your zoo has penguins and meerkats, and I'm getting something other than penguins and meerkats, I'm not having that. I will raise a ruckus.
Yes. Well, this is interesting. There's been other zoos in China that have been accused of having fake animals. Um, there's a one of the zoos in Zhejiang denied that some bears were human beings in disguise because there was a
Oh
video
no.
of one standing like a person that went viral. Experts debunked the claim. The zoo said there's no way a person in a fur suit would be able to withstand such high summer temperatures. Do you think, I mean, China's kind of communistic? Do you think that's why they're doing it? Is that the sign of communism where you dress your human beings as like zoo characters or something? Is that like a punishment in communism where
I
if you're a political prisoner, you're sentenced to sit in the zoo and dress like a sun bear or something? I don't know.
you've had more communistic leanings on the show than any of
Yes,
us, so you could probably
right.
speak with more authority. And I
Yeah,
would
I love
say
the
a
idea.
person could absolutely. I mean, does is China known for its blazing heat? I think it'd be very easy for someone to go in a bear costume and
Okay.
you
Or could that be?
go crawl in your cave and switch out with somebody else. I don't think that's a big deal at all.
Well, couldn't that be community service? Like we hear a lot about, we're not treating people fairly in jails. We're making them work for slave labor. It's not good. Well, couldn't we reform the justice system by making our convicts go to zoos and dress as animals? We can make it.
Is that what you want to go? You want to pay $20 to go to the zoo to look at convicts in fur costumes?
I
We're
don't
now
know if
just
it
we're now turning zoos into just forced furry festivals.
was. Yes, that would be good. I don't think that's what the public wants. Would that save the zoo money? I guess that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I I don't know. And I don't think forced furry festivals is something that anybody should look at or want. That may not be good. But if we could pay people more, I mean, I read something, and I know we're getting against what Exciter is supposed to be about, but like they were saying, Ohio, in essence, are paying prisoners a nickel an hour for doing that work or anything. We'll pay them minimum wage and put them in zoos. You know what I mean? That's more fair than paying somebody a nickel an hour for doing prison work, right?
But I keep coming back to as the zoo goer. I want to go and see a bear. I don't want to see a
Right.
convict in a costume.
I don't think we want to see all this. I think we're trying to trick our zoo goers into that. You know what I mean? Like the zoo goers aren't going to be like, "Yay, here's a convict dressed up as a panda bear." No, in China, they're deceiving the people into believing that these dogs are really panda bears. So we're going to deceive our zoo goers into thinking that the convicts look like animals. You know what I mean? We got to
But
make
I
them
think you could
different.
only pull that off under a communist regime where you don't
Right.
dare complain about it because you don't know what's going to happen.
Don't do that at Pittsburgh Zoo or Columbus Zoo. Yeah, that'd be kind of bad, right?
Yinzer's
So
a riot.
yes, that's true. Okay, no forced furry festivals. I really
We'll
shouldn't
throw our
defend that.
pierogies at him.
Yes, that'll be tough. All right. Well, hey, we don't have a lot of time, so I got to move for these pretty quick. Michigan. This is interesting. A 34-year-old woman was found living in a Michigan supermarket's rooftop sign. Inside the compact space, there was a mini desk, flooring, clothing, a pantry of food, a printer, and a house plant.
Wow,
How about that?
that's
Uh,
impressive.
how they found out? There was a extension cord leading from one of the rooftop units into this sign where she's been hiding. They said there was a 10 to 15-foot hollow peak at the top of the supermarket's roof where the sign was inside, and a 3 by 4 foot access door behind the sign. So does that mean like what, 100 square feet, 150 square feet?
So
It
where was
was.
this at?
This is at the
Michigan?
top. Yeah, Michigan, at the top of a supermarket. There's a sign on top there.
Wow.
It's about 100, feet, square feet. I mean, there's space to move around in.
See, I say let's take all such signs and designate, create housing spaces in there for those who
Yeah,
need it. I'm all on
and
board.
it's inside the sign. I mean, it's not like
Right.
she's walking around naked on top of a store. I mean, she's doing her thing. Yeah, I mean, this could be great. And the woman was nice. When they found the woman, she's like, "Don't worry, I'm leaving." So she was nice about it. Like she wasn't like a squatter or anything. Um, she agreed not to go back. The police gave her information on available services for her housing issue. She didn't want
Good.
any of those. They said, kind of interesting. Um, yeah, why not do that? I think that'd be neat.
Yeah,
And
if we could, I mean, it's not like she's interfering. I mean, it's not like she's living in the bread aisle or something. I mean, just
yeah, a sign at the top of a store. Now get this. Okay, the chain emailed a statement to USA Today, and they said ensuring there's ample, safe, affordable housing continues to be a widespread issue nationwide that our community needs to partner in solving. Okay, if you really believe that emailed crap, then say, woman, come back and live in the sign. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, they're pretty much saying what we're saying. I mean, come on. Let's go for it.
Let's see more
Uh,
of it.
she was called the Rooftop Ninja because she evaded detection for about a year. Get this, a year.
Wow.
Wow. I don't know.
See,
I'm
that should be
impressed.
one of those things where when somebody says, like, I think there's someone living up there, just let it be. They're
If you
they're,
go,
they're not
yeah,
causing a disruption. They're not, she's not like panhandling in front of this. She's just trying to be out of the elements. I say just if you see it, like, yeah, we know there's someone living up there, but we turn a blind eye.
or go up there and install a electric, what do you call it, outlet and everything, so she doesn't have to run a extension cord like from a nearby building. You know what I mean? Help her out a little bit. And again, if you're making these statements about we need to solve the whole housing crisis, go a step further. Okay, we're taking care of this one woman. Hey, other businesses, why don't you let people live in your signs? I think that could be kind of cool. Give her a job there. She could be
Take
a clerk, right?
take all of these, the old fashioned enclosed malls. These are dying all over the place.
Yeah,
Take those malls, turn them into big housing
encampments,
centers.
right? Encampment.
No, I mean, you could take all the stores, maybe divide them up into four little apartments.
Okay.
You could have a food court.
Yeah,
Home, homeless people need to be off the streets and out of the elements.
but instead they'll just bulldoze the place and they'll leave it
Yeah,
blank for a while. Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is it should not be a weird story, but it is, and that shame on them. So, all right. Here's another thing that's kind of weird. Have you heard about this? In New York, there's a sidewalk video portal that links
yes,
New York with Dublin. So pretty
yep,
much you're looking in the portal if you're in New York, you see Dublin, Ireland Street. And it's live video.
yep.
So they closed this. Do you know why they did close that?
Because it was getting less than respectable.
Yes. There was a only fans model in New York who was bearing her breasts to Dubliners. So, she was like, hey, look at here, Dubliners. And then in Dublin, they were holding up swastikas and displaying images of the Twin Towers burning on 9/11. Yeah, that's not good.
See, just when you want to have faith in humanity, that, well, how cool would that be to have this massive live feed where you can interact with people on another part of the world, and as we do, we had to use it for nefarious purposes.
Yeah, we can't have nice things anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, here's the other thing I don't get about this: just video, no audio. Wouldn't part of
Oh,
the cool thing be? Yeah, I would want to talk to somebody in Dublin. Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
yeah. I mean, I don't. It shouldn't have been that hard. I mean, if you can get the technology for that portal thing to just, if I can talk to you in another state with my cell phone, certainly that
Yeah.
could have easily had the capability of audio.
Well, I think they probably meant for it not to be on audio. Maybe they were afraid of what was being said or something. I mean, I'm sure the
Probably.
capability was there, but maybe they just said, "Hey, we'll just do the video." But I don't understand that.
It
Um,
probably weren't the best two cities to experiment with.
yes, definitely not. Or could you imagine if you put that in Detroit or something? You know, oh, it's a portal in Detroit. Oh no, you know, oh that'd be bad.
But could you imagine
Um,
how cool it'd be if every major city had a portal connection to some other city around the world?
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, that'd be
on
awesome.
paper, that should help us get along. But of course, it's going to become this contest to out offend the other.
Here's my issue. Dublin, we speak English. Can't we do something a little bit more brazen, like having Baghdad or something? You know what I mean? Like a area that we're not used to as much anymore. I think that'd be a lot more enlightening. So I don't know.
Maybe having the audio would have prevented all of the visual offenses.
Or what if it's an audio only portal? I guess you would want to see it, right?
Yeah, because I mean, if you can actually talk to somebody through this portal in Ireland, I don't think you're going to be as quick to divert to holding up swastikas and flashing each other. It would
Yes.
probably delay when we eventually get to that.
Yeah, it would be really interesting. Now they opened it back up. They were talking about some of the things that people were doing. They gave a wave. They made heart signs with their hands. Some took a selfie. On the Dublin side, a man stood behind a crowd of school children and extended two middle fingers. How about that, Dublin? Yeah. Um, a woman on the New York side held up a sign telling folks in Dublin to join her in a TikTok dance. The crowd didn't comply, so she did the dance anyway, and a friend recorded the routine on their phone. That's a little disappointing. I mean, hey, you're just holding a sign. Just dance a little bit. They didn't want to dance with her. Could this portal cause a war? You know what I mean?
It nearly did.
Right. But what I'm saying is, okay, Ireland, I think we're friendly with Ireland, right? But man, if we keep, having these portals up and we're flicking each other off and everything, I mean, could this extend to a real war because of
But
what's
if it
going on?
escalated from High Stranger to that drastic of, I mean, give it a month and we'd be sending fighter jets over to Ireland.
Yes. That's why maybe we shouldn't have these portals. Like, we're on friendly terms with Ireland. We don't want to, become hostile to Ireland because of a portal. Come on.
We can't have nice things.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I don't know. And in some ways too, we're making this look like a really big thing. It's a portal. It's like a video chat. I mean, that'd be like me saying, "Ooh, I can see inside Pittsburgh right now," and you're like, "Ooh, here's Columbus." I mean, it's kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe
But
we
that, I
need
mean,
to do.
I think that would be super cool if there was like, because that was a significant size thing. I mean, if you could stand there and talk to some bloke in London, that would be really cool.
You know what we should do? And this is something we can work on for next week. What if we reached out to a restaurant or someplace in another country and we could have like a etc. portal night? Could they set
Well,
like we'll send a
like
link to our show to Dublin or
it's what, like 5 a.m. in Dublin.
well, right. Well, we'd have to figure out hours wise what would make sense. Yeah, I mean maybe Dublin would be good, but what's halfway across the world? Probably Japan or China. Oh man, Portal of China, wouldn't that be great?
There's got to be somebody with a London. I want to. I'm I'm obsessed with London. I mean, they got Britain has the best TV shows, the best comedians. I'm obsessed with London.
Well, I mean, I think we can pull this off. Even London, it's what 6 hours away. So right now it's like 6 a.m. in London. How do we make this work? So if we reached out to like a cafe or a breakfast place, we would just say, "Here's the link. Can you put a laptop up on your restaurant, and we can talk to people as they come by?" How would we make that
There we
work?
go.
It probably have to be a
Yeah, people
restaurant.
aren't. They're not going to be hammered at 6 a.m. So
Yes. Or we could just have someone walk around the streets with a phone with our link on it, and we could talk to people. That would be kind of wild. You think London will work, or do we want something a little more scarier where they don't know English as well? You know what I mean? Like,
then, yeah, if we start someplace where the people don't speak English, that probably would be riveting as it could be.
it would have to be like a broken English. Obviously, we don't want a place where no one speaks English. It would just have to be something like that. That'd be kind of wild. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. We got some missionary connections. Maybe we can pull off there. How about that?
Could try.
I don't know if I don't want to ruin any mission work over there, but hey, talk to these goofy guys on a podcast. That may not work out well, but I'm kind of fascinated about this. I mean, and again, it's a neat idea. I have nothing against Portal, but I mean, we could do this here. Why do we need to make a big video chart or whatever? I don't know. Yeah, I think we could do it. It'll be good. So
Well, I think the difference with the portal is, if you can talk to somebody like in their life size. I mean, because right now you're about 3/4 of an inch on my phone screen. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, we know each other. I mean, it's not like I'm randomly saying links to various people having them. At least we know each other and everything. I don't know. And we could become an international show, Paul. If we do this every week, I mean, good night. We'll have no viewers in America, but we'll have viewers all over the world. We'll be like an Israeli show or something. And oh man, we could solve world issues. Wouldn't that be great? We'll do a portal in Hamas one week and a portal in Israel, and
we will solve the Middle East crisis.
yes, yeah. Yeah, if you read Revelation, there's always questions on who's going to, bring Middle East peace. Like who's that silver-tongued devil that's going to do that? It's etc. Show. How about that?
Well,
Bet
doesn't it
you,
talk about the three witnesses who are in the
yeah,
streets? Maybe it's just
yeah,
the three of us via
portal.
StreamYard.
Yeah, via StreamYard. They couldn't explain that. Like when, what was it? John who wrote Revelation was looking at it. He was looking at a video of us on StreamYard. He's like, "What the heck is this?" And like the Holy Spirit's like, I'll just write what you see, and that's why you see all these like weird whimsical terms and everything, which really StreamYard, that would be fascinating. Oh, one other note, Paul, I probably should have brought this up during the football show. Have you seen these schedule release videos? Like, we're taping this on the night of the NFL, when they release their schedules. Have you seen these?
No, I came home from rehearsal and kind of got myself together and logged on. So I
Do yourself a favor. We probably won't talk about it next week because it's only good for like a week or so. But these NFL teams are making these schedule release videos where they try to have fun with the schedule. Some are better than others. I will tell you, the one I liked was the Titans. They went. They call it Broadway. I don't know if there's a street in Nashville called Broadway or if they went to Broadway. They showed fans, well, not fans, just passerby said, "What do you think this looks like?" They showed them like the logos of the teams they're playing, and the first thing the person says, they're like, they put the name out there. So like, they played the Bears, and someone thought it was like Joe Burrow's like team, but they couldn't figure out what the team was. So like, Joe Burrow's team, and then it showed the Bears logo, and then they had Joe Burrow's team, and then um, somebody was like for the Colts logo, they're like, "Oh, it's the Cowboys." So like they say Cowboys in the Colts logo. Some were better than others. That was fun. They did that for the past 2 years. The Chargers had a Sims game, and when they showed the Steelers, they showed Kenny Pickett walking away, and someone dresses Justin Fields and Russell Wilson coming to take its place. It was very. They were kind of like making notes and everything about the NFL season. It was kind of wild. I kind of liked it, man. It was pretty interesting. The Steelers one kind of stunk. They brought back James Harrison, and they're like, "Hey, if you can make James Harrison laugh with your dad jokes, we'll show you the schedule." Said Steelers coming to James Harrison, and it didn't go well. So I don't know. I love that idea. It just kind of makes it a little fun, I guess. I don't know. Can you think of any things that we should do with our schedule videos? I don't know.
have to think on that.
Yeah, and these guys, they do a lot. And I think it was like Adam Schefter. He had a tweet where they were talking about like some coach was like, "Well, are you putting in long hours now?" And they're like, "Oh no, the only people putting in long hours are the social media teams because they're putting together these videos." So technically, I guess if you're on a football social media team, you'll get the schedule a week or two early because they're putting a lot of time and thought. It's kind of like one of those movie trailer things, and some are better than others. I don't know. Um, yeah, I watched some that just weren't that interesting, but I guess every team puts out one. So if you're bored one night, you should check them out. It should be good. So, anything else going on of interest?
I would just say, exciting news this week. Punxsutawney Phil and his wife Phyllis, their babies have officially been named Sonny and Shadow. So
Yeah, I
shout out to
saw
Sonny and
that.
Shadow.
That's so weird. I saw the video of that, and I'm like, I feel bad for the poor guys making the video. I'm sure they get paid for doing that and everything, but it just doesn't sound. I don't know.
You're just a hater.
Just
You're
I,
anti-family. That's what it comes down to. You're anti-family.
yeah, it's not that I'm
It's a
anti-family. I'm
beautiful
just
groundhog family, and you just have to spit all over it.
well. I wonder sometimes, and I'm very. I, I'm s- I'm hypocritical when I say this because I podcast and everything, and some people could say, "Well, horrible use of your time." But I'm looking at these guys chasing Phil around, and I'm like, don't they have to look in the mirror one time and say, "Is this what really we're doing? Like, is this the hobby we really need to have in our life?" I don't know. I mean, everyone can say,
When have you seen them chasing Phil around? Like he's like trying to escape, and he's this manhunt for Phil.
I don't know, man. I'm just watching that
That would
video.
be that would be an honor to be one of Phil's right hand men.
I just don't know. And I guess the argument, like, I'm sure your wife doesn't understand why you podcast. My wife doesn't understand, but they're probably like, hey, they enjoy doing it. Let them be, whatever. So maybe that's how I should look at these guys with that are with Phil and everything. I don't know. It just I want to make fun. I want to say icky things. I just feel sad for these guys tonight. I don't know.
What if a couple times a year, what we do on the Etc. show is national news? Would you be excited and fully embrace whatever it was that made us, the eyes of the world turn to us?
I hate to be money grubbing, but does it make them money? I mean, yeah, I mean it keeps the city afloat and everything, but are these like are Phil's right hand men? This is what we need to figure out. Are they making money off this, or is this like a fun volunteer thing they do?
I don't know. I spend how much time I invest in the bands I'm in. Just I don't get a penny for those, but I just
Right, right. But they're dressing as them. They're going out. I mean, you can sit here and say, "Hey, we spent time doing what we're doing now," but we're at our comfortable houses. There's no dress code. We're just we're doing. You know what I mean? But if you had to dress up and if you had to drive a ton of miles, I mean, they're spending money on this. I don't know. We need to have. What's your connections like with the Phil people? I mean, we got a lot of guests we got to bring on. Can we bring on a Phil person? You know what I mean?
if you can behave yourself, I can try to reach out.
Yeah, but
I'm not entirely confident that you and Joe would behave yourselves.
could we promise to behave ourselves if we're allowed to ask serious questions? Like, what's the time commitment to this? How much are you clearing out of this? You know what I mean? That's what I want to know.
Can you ask it like a journalist and not like
Yes,
a
I will ask.
condescending? Like, what are
I
you
will.
thinking? What
I will ask like a journalist if they're willing to answer the questions. I will ask like a journalist. There'll be a lot of negotiation that goes in this interview that we could have. But I mean, I'll be really curious to see what's going on. It'll be interesting. I don't know. Could that be the portal? Could we put the portal in Puxatawny where we can have?
we
You
should
know,
we should plan that. I will. I can log in from the knob on
okay.
February 2nd. You guys
Yes.
just got to be up at like 3 a.m. and I can. I'll be at the knob give real time updates.
Well, and we could definitely do that. It'll be something to look forward to for February. But is there a happening place in Puxatawny that we could do our Wednesday night portal from? Like, we don't have to go there. I mean, we could just. Is there a bar or a coffee shop or a?
There are businesses in Punxsutawney. Yes.
Right. Well, right. So I guess what I'm saying is there a place that we could just say, look, we'll send you a link. Just put the link on, and we can talk to people as they walk by. Wouldn't that be great?
I I would set a day aside. I could drive up to Punxsutawney and I could walk the
Oh, okay.
streets of Punxsutawney and
What?
be the man on the street.
At 10 p.m. on Wednesday night.
Because the crowds will be bustling in Punxsutawney at 10 o'clock at night.
Yes, yes, it would be. Well, if it's not, Groundhog Day, you'll be the only one there, probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's anything like any other town in Pennsylvania, everything's pretty well shut down by 9 o'clock. So
Yes, definitely, definitely. All right. Well, we'll figure it out. It sounds like we got a lot of reaching out to do, for interviews and all this other stuff. So it should be good. Um, man, I am seeing a ton of Cavs tweets. The Cavs are in the news right now. How about that?
well, if it was good news, I'd be excited, but I know it's not, so I'm
Yeah,
not
definitely.
excited.
Yeah, not good news at all. So, All right. Well, thanks for catching us tonight. Joe should be back next week. For Paul, this is Chris. Thanks for checking us out. Have a great night, everybody.